There's no use talking about the problem unless you talk about the solution.
It's not a problem that we have a problem. It's a problem if we don't deal with the problem. Think for yourself, or others will think for you without thinking of you. Never try to solve all the problems at once. Make them line up for you one by one. If thy knowledge is real, employ it. Wrestle with nature. Test the strength of thy theories. See if they will support the trial. Act. All problems become smaller when you confront them instead of dodging them. Never associate with idiots on their own level, because, being an intelligent man, you'll try to deal with them on their level, and on their level, they'll beat you every time. People say that you're going the wrong way when it's simply a way of your own. Whatever failures I have known, whatever errors I have committed, whatever follies I have witnessed in public and private life, have been the consequences of action without thought. There's no such thing as running away from the problem. They're very patient and will wait a lifetime for you. If you read, you can learn to think for yourself. Too often we give our children answers to remember rather than problems to solve. The best way to escape from a problem is to solve it. Take responsibility for what you think and what you do. To solve any problem, here are 3 questions to ask yourself. First, what could I do? Second, what could I read? And third, who could I ask? Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect. A problem well stated is a problem if solved. It is a fact that before we begin to think we seem to know everything, while when we set about thinking in earnest, we seem to know nothing. He only sees well who sees the whole in the parts, and the parts in the whole. Learn to see, listen, and think for yourself. Trust yourself, think for yourself, act for yourself, speak for yourself, be yourself. There is a time in the life of every problem when it is big enough to see, yet small enough to solve. Don't waste your time trying to control the uncontrollable, or trying to solve the unsolvable, or think about what could have been. Think about what you can control and solve the problems with the wisdom have gained from both your victories and your defeats in the past. It is better to solve one problem 5 different ways, than to solve 5 problems one way. Every problem is a gift. Without problems, we would not grow. Learn to judge the thought independently of who says it or how. Running away from any problem only increases the distance from the solution. When you place a high value on truth, you have to think for yourself. Today, take the limits off of yourself. You will never rise higher than your thinking. Get a bigger vision for your life. Don't dwell on what went wrong. Instead, focus on what to do next. Spend your energies on moving forward toward finding the answer. You have to change your thinking if you desire to have a future different from your present. It is wise to direct your anger towards problems, not people. To focus your energies on answers, not excuses. The measure of success is not whether you have a tough problem to deal with, but whether it is the same problem you had last year. Again and again, the impossible decision is solved when we see that the problem is only a tough decision waiting to be made. The biggest problem in the world could have been solved when it was small. Problems do not go away. They must be worked through, or else they remain forever a barrier to the growth and development of the spirit. If you choose to not deal with an issue, then you give up your right of control over the issue, and it will select the path of least resistance. When faced with a problem you do not understand, do any part of it you do understand, and then look at it again. We have all, at some point, confused doing anything with actually solving the problem. When are you going to stop thinking about things that don't matter and start thinking about what lies ahead for you? Do not let yourself be contaminated by others' ideas of what is best for you. Cast aside the shackles of destructive thinking. Consistency is respecting the flames, while aiming to extinguish problems at the base of the fire. The problem is not the problem. It's your attitude about the problem. You will only be remembered for 2 things: the problems you solve, or the ones you create.